Hi, it's Peter here. I hope you're all keeping well. I thought I'd just give you a bit of an update, and it's beginning of February, very mild day with a bit of rain, not much sun, and I thought I'd just run through my plans for this year. Fortunately, I've still got my 2 colonies, and they seem to have survived all right. Although I've got a sunny spot for the bees here, we're on a bit of a hill and it can get quite windy here, so I've still got some bubble wrap wrapped around the hives just to give a bit of insulation. I suspect this colony is going to expand quite quickly, so what I plan to do is perhaps do a demarrage split on this one, is to keep the queen in the bottom brood box, have a couple of supers, brood box on the top with most of the brood inside. And that should hopefully suppress the swarming instinct. I'll still have to do the weekly check. So in the new box I have got a bought-in buckfast queen, so I think what I'll do is try and produce a split or a couple of splits from this colony, assuming they expand fine. And this is the new I made up last year. Actually, this is the first Payne's Poly box I've ever bought, and I've been quite impressed with it. So there aren't too many bees flying today, but we'll just have a look inside, see how they're getting on. So I've got a bubble wrap around this hive. Now, they seem to be doing quite well. Nice lot of bees in there. So what I'm intending to do with this one is to give it a couple of months and then put them in a full-size national box, and then perhaps try and do a split from this one. I think, although I've got 2 hives at the moment, I'd like to get up to about 3-4 hives. And I've got my trusty bait hive on top of the horse shelter. It's about 6 foot up in the air. It's just a national box with a fairly small entrance, and I've just got one frame in there with some old comb. It's fairly high up and it seems quite popular with the bees. As I say, we're on sort of a fairly small hill, and this just overlooks the village, and the village pub is in the distance. I've got a second bait hive about 8 foot up on the side of the garage wall, and you possibly gather I'm quite keen on trying to promote the local wildlife. So with our hedgerows, we do cut them occasionally, but sometimes we'll just leave them the odd year or so. I mean, this one got a nice sort of honeysuckle growing on top of the holly and some blackberry, so I think I'll leave this for this year. So that'll provide some nice blossom and nectar for the bees and other insects. I've just dug myself a pond, a very shallow pond, which hopefully the frogs will use. Let's say it has got a pond liner, but I've backfilled it with dirt and turf, so it looks fairly natural. It's not that big, and it's only about 3-4 inches deep, so it might dry out late summer. We used to keep a small flock of sheep in this field, but unfortunately they got old and they all died. And we decided not to replace the sheep, but just try and maintain the field as a bit of a wildflower meadow. And we've planted quite a few fruit trees, just letting the grass grow during spring and summer, and we'll get a contractor in late summer to cut the grass. And it's nice for the grasshoppers and snakes and the slow worms. And it's good for the bees as well. And we've tried planting quite a few spring flowering shrubs. This is viburnum, which seems to be quite good for the bees. Anyway, thanks ever so much for viewing the videos. If you like them, please hit the like button. If you've got any comments or suggestions, please add them and I'll try and get back to you. Thanks for viewing. All the best now. Bye bye.